I hate to do this at the beginning of the video because I would rather just, get into it, but just a quick little thing. We had our heater oscillating. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Or oscillating? I don't know. We do eventually turn it off, but I just want you to be aware of it so it's not like, we weren't like interrupted, people weren't making noise outside, just so you know what it is, and so you're not bothered by it. So, thank you.
Please excuse the Greg Heffley flyaways. Hey, what's up, you guys? It's Shacey Bender. I'm Cheyenne. And I'm Sierra, and welcome back to this week's video. This just looks better already. We're using a different ring light. There's a huge difference. Yeah. I can't even believe the difference. It almost looks like we have a totally different camera. The picture just looks that much better. Like, yeah. I'm impressed. So today, we were gonna post a singing video of Austin Alley songs that will be coming eventually, but we couldn't do it because we literally got colds right before we were gonna film the video, which is kind of ridiculous, but it's just what happens every single time. We're still a little sick right now. You can definitely hear it more in your voice than mine. Well, actually, here we go. Yeah, here we go. So sorry about that. But today, we're gonna be talking about something that is honestly so fun. We're gonna be talking about the freaking Larry Tudgeman.
Tudgeman.
The icon, the legend, the Starfleet command leader, probably. I don't know.
I wasn't ready for that.
Yeah, I bet you weren't. So we love Lizzie McGuire, and we don't get to talk about it enough on our channel. A character that we definitely think got a disservice is Larry Tudgeman. I'm even wearing Lizzie McGuire socks right now.
Like, hang on. Is this even possible?
I'm gonna show your feet. Please do not kick me in the head either. Let's get the look, it's Lizzie McGuire.
Yeah, thank you for the support.
You're welcome. We wanted to talk about Lizzie McGuire so bad, so here we are. Now we're talking about the Tudgeman. I'm excited. I never thought we were going to talk about him in a video, but here we are. Because we need a plan B, since we couldn't film our singing video, we were looking through our video ideas and it literally just says Tudgeman, Lizzie McGuire, and we were like, wait, we forgot. Because our video ideas list is really long. It's literally some ideas that we've written down years ago and we just never did. Let's get into the Larry Tudgeman analysis in defense of Larry Tudgeman. Yeah, we are going to, I don't know what I was gonna say. I was gonna say something about court, but I don't know anything about it. I don't know. I was gonna say likely his case, or I don't know. Basically trying to defend him. We are his lawyer.
Yes, we are his one singular lawyer. Every time we have a case and we go to court, we become one giant woman.
Steven Universe style.
That's our tactic to
intimidate.
Yeah, to intimidate. We have never had a case that we didn't win.
Pretty much. And we're going to try to make him look as good as possible. Who is Larry Tudgeman, you may ask? Even though I don't know why you would even click on the video if you don't even know who Larry Tudgeman is. But if you don't recall, let me refer to my notes. He is supposed to embody the nerd stereotype at Lizzie McGuire's school. What even is the name of the school? Hillridge, I think. Oh my gosh, yes. Hillridge. He doesn't have any friends. He gets made fun of a lot, and he's known for being unhygienic. Sometimes he's caught picking his nose in certain episodes, and also on top of that, it's rumored that he has worn the same exact shirt every day since the 2nd grade. I don't know how that would be possible because, people grow. I don't know how that would fit on his body after so many years. Like, he's in like the 7th or 8th grade. I don't really know how that would work out, but one thing I'd like to say is that as soon as we started this video, I'm like, he's probably one of the very few, if not the first nerd on Disney Channel to not have glasses. That's pretty interesting. I mean, unless there was someone that was nerdy on Even Stevens. Never watched Will of the Future, so I don't know. Like, is he a nerd? That was after Lizzie McGuire. Oh yeah, that's true. I always forget that. I always forget that it was like a different time. We will get around to watching that and we'll probably make a video because someone recommended it on our Jonas Brothers video. So we wanted to cover the main episodes that he is in for evidence, okay? While doing a brief look over of the whole series, we stumbled upon 4 episodes that he was mainly a part of. All the other episodes in the series, it's like he shows up every now and again,
one, but like he's not a main part of them because he's just a side character, so of course that makes sense. But I'm honestly surprised that there's only 4 because he's apparently only important to me. I thought he was in more.
I guess I thought he was more of a major character than he was, apparently.
So these episodes are I Do, I Don't from season 1, episode 10. We have Scarlet Larry, which is season 1, episode 26. And The Winner Is, which is season 2, episode 6. And My Fair Larry from season 2, episode 30.
You know, it's crazy that Lizzie McGuire only ran for 2 seasons, but it literally felt like it went on forever. And then they had the movie afterwards. Why wasn't he in the movie? I'm like kind of pissed.
He wasn't even on the show.
I mean, Miranda wasn't in the movie either.
But I can live without her.
You can live without Miranda, but you can't live without Larry in your life.
We'll get into that. I have a hatred for Miranda from Lizzie McGuire. I wish I didn't hate her. I don't actually hate her. I more so have a love-hate relationship with her.
So episode 10, I Do, I Don't. Let's talk about it. In this episode, Lizzie and her class are set up to do a partner project where all of the students are paired up and have to pretend to be married. So it's like a mock marriage project. And they're given fictional careers and lifestyles. And after some time, they are required to give a report at their pretend 20-year class reunion. And although Larry isn't like the main focus of this episode, it's a good example of the way that people treat him at the school, which is awfully.
Let's break down this episode of just all the parts that Larry was in. Right off the bat, in his first appearance in this episode, he is shown picking his nose. Honestly, with the sound effects and everything, I just wasn't really expecting it. So it was pretty funny, honestly. He got the worst wife he could have gotten. He literally got Kate as his wife for this assignment.
I can't be married to Larry.
You are married to Larry.
Stop saying that! I want a new husband.
The way Kate treats him shows how everyone thinks about him or would treat him if they had no filter, honestly. Anytime he even touches anyone, they feel the need to basically wipe him off of them.
Like wipe the germs off. So basically when they were choosing their fake careers, they had to reach into a jar to randomly pick whatever career they were going to get. When Kate and him had to put their hand in the jar, their hands touched and she got so grossed out and she wiped his own germs off on his shirt. Like, I get it, he picked his nose, but like
they're acting like
it's a bit dramatic.
Yeah, but they're acting like it's not because he picked his nose. Like they're acting like it's just because it's him. He himself is like disgusting. Like not that he does disgusting things, that he's just like the scum of the earth.
This is rude.
Then we have my favorite Tudge moment, the yaw moment.
Yeah, I'm your husband.
He was trying to talk to Kate at lunch about what was going on with their project. He's like, oh, we gotta work on this. And she was like, this can only be a perfect marriage if you're not in it. Oh, and I forgot to mention that the reason why they have to do this project in the first place is because whoever has the best marriage report would get to opt out of doing a report over the weekend, like a essay. Something that I'd like to point out, even if Tudgeman is unhygienic and picks his nose and has greasy hair and doesn't change his shirt, he still deserves respect, just like every other human being on this planet.
No, like seriously though. I know we're laughing just because it's like, again, it's
so cartoonish.
Yeah.
It's just so rude because everyone brushes him off and ignores him when he's talking. It's just mean.
I know, they act like he doesn't even exist. Like, they pretend to not even hear him when he speaks. That's just sad. And Kate even plans on leaving Larry at the fake 20-year reunion and makes up a whole scheme with Ethan so that Kate and Ethan could be married for the project. In doing that, that would embarrass not only Larry, but Miranda also, because Miranda was supposed to be Ethan Kraft's wife.
This is Dr. Ethan Kraft.
How many times did she say that?
I don't know.
No, but her describing her car with the leather interior, like, whatever she said.
With 3 kids, blah, 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 and Ethan Jr. I don't even remember the other 2 kids' names. I don't know, because this is not what the video is about. At the end of the episode, when Kate gets up on the stage and does the report and says, literally, the day after we got married, I left Larry, and I went to go live my own life, and basically embarrassed him, he at least got his revenge and poured punch on her head.
And they made sure to make that dramatic. Repeat the clip over and over again like Lizzie McGuire does. Some of the ones have sound effects,
Some
slow
were
it
slowed
down,
yeah.
everything.
And I'm not an eye for an eye person, but when it comes to television, I kind of am, especially in such a cartoonish show like Lizzie McGuire, just because of the fact that Kate was never going to get a consequence unless another character did something back to her.
Yeah, and characters in that type of show just stay static. And after he pours the punch on her, for once his classmates were on his side. But the thing is that they were more in support of something bad happening to Kate rather than in support of him standing up for himself.
Yeah, like, it wasn't a thing where they felt bad that she literally just basically embarrassed him in front of the whole class. They just thought it was funny if, like, you know, Kate got punch poured on her head.
And of all people to do it, like, for him to do it,
yeah,
it's just kind of on another level for them. That's why they think it's funny. So here we move on to probably the most crucial episode for this analysis, honestly.
Yeah.
A very awkward episode is Scarlet Larry.
So in this episode, Lizzie finds out that Larry has a crush on her, and Larry proceeds to ask her out, and eventually she says yes, hesitantly, because she didn't want to go on a date with him in the first place, but she didn't want to hurt his feelings, and she didn't want to, like, be doing the wrong thing. She wanted to, like, try to make the best decision possible.
There's a lot of layers to this episode because I can understand both sides. It's kind of tricky, this situation. Lizzie is immediately just so disgusted. She's literally like, ew, Larry touched me. She's just immediately disgusted when she finds out that Larry has a crush on her. She even thinks that it's unfair to her that a guy like him would have a crush on her. Like, this should not be happening to me. Why did this happen to me?
Larry Tudgeman. First crusher. Unfair. My condolences.
She was like, the universe is against me. Like, why couldn't Ethan Kraft, the hottie of the grade, have a crush on me?
And when he asks her out later in the episode, she tries to let him down easy. She actually gives an excuse.
Lying is perfectly legal in a case like this.
Being like, I have other plans.
I kind of have this thing.
But either way, he was still very crushed because he got rejected.
I can't.
That's too bad.
Why was this actually very hard to watch? I can understand both sides. Like, on Lizzie's side, she's probably thinking along the lines of, you know, he's unpopular. Now, here's the thing. I don't like that part. The part I can understand is he's unhygienic. Like, I don't want to go out with a guy who's unhygienic. But from his point of view, he's like, well, I guess I'm not good enough. I'm not popular. That's why she doesn't want to go out with me. I mean, because he gets bullied, so probably not, you know, not a good self-esteem booster.
Lizzie was kind of distraught over this because she didn't know whether or not she made the right decision, and so she goes to her mom and asks her for advice, and her mom says, how do you know that you don't like him, you know, if you never spent time with him or anything? Basically saying that she should give him a chance.
And her mom made it weird. When Lizzie proceeded to explain further what the situation was, she said,
What do you do if the guy you don't like is a total geek?
like, you have to understand why I won't go out with him. And her mom replies by saying, well, then you might have to marry him because of the McGuire curse. Her mom married a nerd, therefore she has to marry a nerd. I don't know.
So, I mean, this is my destiny?
I don't know, maybe.
One thing I would like to bring up about this is that, of course, what the mom says is like, especially in this situation, is like, yeah, like, how do you know? Like, you're being kind of judgmental. But I don't fully agree with what the mom says. With the reason being, like, that is not gonna work out in every situation. How do you know if you don't give him a chance? Because I understand this is just for the show, like, you know what I mean? But, you know, imagine if it wasn't like that. Imagine if it was actually some really creepy guy that she doesn't like, not because she doesn't know him, but because he's mean and everything. And she's like, how do you know if you don't give him a chance? Basically telling her to go on a date with him.
Yeah, even though he might be dangerous or something. I understand maybe just trying to understand someone else and get to know them before judging them, but you don't have to date somebody.
Yeah, and because here's the thing. The reason why I want to kind of like break down what the mom said, maybe how it's not fully, you know, okay, is because of the fact that she said this before she even had the full context, the whole thing about giving him a chance. She just said, like, what if a guy you don't like asks you out? And she says that. But it's like, you don't know why she doesn't like him.
It's just a little odd.
It only works out because of the specific situation Lizzie was in. But of course, this is just Disney Channel. I'm sure they didn't think that deep about it. It was obviously meant to fit her situation anyway, for what the episode was leading into. But I thought I should just mention it anyway, because it's like, you have the right to say no to going on a date with somebody. You know what I mean? You know, there doesn't have to be a very specific reason as to why you don't want to go out with them. You could just not want to go out with them.
Yeah.
Or you don't want to date anyone, you know? But of course, in this situation, it's fine.
Kind of.
Kind of, yeah.
Not completely, but I kind of understand where the mom is coming from. Because, like, she doesn't even really know him, and
it's because
she's
of the
just going based off of rumors that she hears about him.
Yeah, it's because of the unpopular part. That's where Lizzie is being judgmental. I'm just saying, like, with the mom not knowing the full context, does she really have the right to say all that stuff?
Right. So Lizzie calls him on the phone and says that she wants to go on the date with him because she feels like that's the right thing to do.
Okay, I guess that's a yes.
He shows up for the date in his weekend shirt.
I'm wearing my weekend shirt.
Because he doesn't change his shirt. He's wearing a different shirt today. And Lizzie's all of a sudden like, wait, he kind of looks cute now. I don't like that.
He actually does look cute. Is this the Tudge?
I feel bad for him. It's like, oh, even though like literally not much has changed about him, it's just like, oh, he was so ugly before.
When it's literally just a shirt change. Even his hair is basically the same. How is a shirt change? Like, I don't know.
It just reminds me of bad situations where it's like all of a sudden, like if someone had a glow up and then someone that like was mean to you before was like, oh my gosh, you're really pretty, go out with me. I don't like that. It just doesn't sit right with me. But whatever, it's a Disney Channel show from 2001. There's nothing I can do about it now. It's just funny because she was saying how gross he was.
No,
and
it was
now all of a
literally...
sudden she's like, oh, he's kind of attractive.
No, but the thing was, it was literally a few seconds before he showed up. She was being like, oh my gosh, I'm so, like, upset.
Like I don't want to go on this date.
And stressed out. I mean, like, he's so gross. And then as soon as he comes in the door, she's like, why is he kind of cute?
What's going on?
So superficial.
Yeah. So then they go on a date at this science museum and they have this really weird montage. And at the beginning of it, they make Tudgeman look so creepy. Like he's trying to touch her hand on this thing.
I didn't like it. It gave me the ick.
Ew. Please stop. You're making Tudgeman look bad.
We're trying to defend him.
Yeah, like, please stop.
Because
he's not creepy. Like, please stop. I swear, like, sometimes they try to make things so cartoonish so it's funny, and then they make a character look bad.
Also,
like, as a result.
One thing I think we should mention about the hygiene thing before we move on with what happens in the episode, I have to backtrack a little bit just because I want to make sure I mention this about the whole thing with him picking his nose. Because before we even started typing up notes for this video, me and Sierra were discussing the hygiene thing. Like, we're like, he's not that bad, though. Like, I don't understand. Like, everyone in the show is blowing it out of proportion. And she said, well, and Sierra said, well, he didn't pick his nose or anything. And I right away said, yeah, he did. Multiple times.
At least he's not, like, picking his nose in public and stuff. But then we rewatched it, and it was like, oh, he did, actually. Come on, I'm trying to defend you. And you're, like, making it really difficult.
Because also, another thing is, like, I understand understand if you don't want people touching you or your stuff because you know that they, like, pick their nose and things like that. I know it happened to me, and a Dork Diaries book of mine almost didn't make it out unscathed. I understand, but it's also, like, treat them with respect, though. Like, you don't have to be like, ew, you're gross. Like, no.
Yeah, it's just embarrassing, you know?
But anyway, they go on the date, and after the date, Lizzie and Miranda have this conversation that I really did not like.
Yeah, because Lizzie said that she actually really enjoyed the date. She had a really good time with him.
I'm actually having a good time with Larry Tudgeman.
But then, like, she started talking to Miranda about it, and it just kind of went south.
Lizzie and Miranda even use her going on the date with Tudgeman as a good karma builder so they can date who they want to date since Lizzie did a good deed.
That's just effed up.
They're like, since Lizzie went out with the loser, we're gonna have good karma and we're probably gonna be able to date Ethan Kraft. Are you kidding me? This is more influenced by Miranda though, because I would say Miranda's a bit more judgmental. And she's always worried about her popularity. Because, I mean, also, Lizzie just has obviously more respect for Larry.
Because she actually got to know him and spend time with him. So she knows, like, he's not a loser, like everyone says that he is.
Even earlier in the episode, Gordo was saying stuff like, oh, this is revolutionary that Lizzie would be going on a date with him, and it's kind of like, I don't even know what he said. Something about, like, guys getting rejected. It's almost like Lizzie would be a hero to them.
Of course, in Disney Channel fashion, after you go on one date with a person, they're automatically your boyfriend or girlfriend. Larry thinks that Lizzie is his girlfriend now, and he's telling everyone in school about it.
You know how terrible that would be? You go on a first date with somebody to just test out the waters, and they all of a sudden they're like, so we're boyfriend and girlfriend, right? Or we're girlfriend, boyfriend and boyfriend, whatever you want to say.
Partner and partner, vice versa. She's obviously not into it because she was like, I'll just go on one date with him and it'll be over, but now she's his girlfriend. They really make him seem like this annoying, gross, clingy guy over a miscommunication. It's kind of disappointing. Like, he just doesn't understand what's going on. Like, he thinks they're dating now. It would have taken just one time to be like, listen, I didn't sign up for this, like, and then they just made him look bad.
Yeah, because of the fact, like, you know, in all the clips that they're showing, it's like, she's not into it, but he is. Again, it makes him seem super clingy and, like, annoying. Like, as if he's, like, pestering her when he thinks that they're in a relationship. Either way, in the end, everything ended up okay. Lizzie ended up talking to Larry and telling him the truth, and he was like, yeah, that's fine. He even says, so you think I have a chance with Miranda? At least he has confidence, even though he gets bullied and basically stepped on all the time, like, and pushed down. Couldn't be me. I don't know how he has this confidence, but good on him. The next episode that we're going to be talking about is And the Winner Is. We didn't actually rewatch this episode for the video, but while scrolling through Disney Plus, I saw him on the thumbnail, so I assumed, you know, he was involved in it, at least for a majority of the episode. Maybe, I don't know. So I decided to check it out and find out what his involvement actually was in this episode. But once, like, I found out what it was about, it's not important enough to fully cover and go through the main points of the episode due to the fact that it's not even about him, it's about the main trio, because actually in this episode, Lizzie, Miranda, and Gordo are mad at each other, so when they have to do a scavenger hunt assignment type thing for school, they don't want to be each other's partners because they're mad at each other. They actually break off and get different partners. And there is something I want to point out. You know, this is why I even kept this episode in at all. In the wiki fandom synopsis for this episode, it states Miranda gets stuck with Larry Tudgeman, which I just feel like I needed to bring up because it just once again demonstrates how people view him as bottom of the barrel, or at least the last resort in the show. Like, that they get stuck with him. And the thing is, he's not even mean. He's not even mean to anyone. I don't remember him ever being rude to somebody or even doing anything remotely mean. People just, like, don't like him and make fun of him constantly for being eccentric. Now, the final episode that we need to talk about, and this episode is
fully focused on Larry as well. And this episode really hurts because it's the most relatable to me as a bully victim.
No, and this also just, like, breaks my heart. And also starts my hatred for Miranda. Because once I saw this episode and then rewatched Lizzie McGuire, I could pinpoint every little thing wrong with Miranda's behavior.
And Lizzie's as well, because I just noticed they both, like, are so judgmental. They can be really mean sometimes. So in this episode, Miranda is planning a party and does not want to invite Larry because he's unpopular and she thinks he'll ruin the vibes. Lizzie doesn't feel like this is right, so she tries to convince Miranda to invite him to the party, but she refuses and she is like, I don't care, I don't want to invite him. Larry is really hurt by this, so Lizzie, with Gordo's help, of course, because he was left out of a party at one time or another, so Lizzie kind of gets him on board because of that.
Gordo is always the MVP of every Lizzie McGuire episode.
They try to sneak him in by making him look like a different person. And also, I just like to add that I hate how everyone in this episode is trying to make excuses to not invite him, being like, oh, he won't care, he'll think it's cool that he didn't get invited to the party.
No, they use his...
like him being eccentric.
Yeah, and him being different, almost like as a way to exclude him. Because he always says, like, you know, I like what I like, and I'm not changing for anybody. But they're almost like, yeah, so he doesn't want to be like the rest of us, right?
So it's okay if we don't invite him, because then, like, he'll think, oh, that's so cool I wasn't invited because I'm not like everyone else. Which is just ridiculous.
Which, honestly, I feel like he's been conditioned to actually feel that way, being like, you know, I might as well just be myself because no one likes me anyway.
Yeah. And this part was so hard to watch. So basically, because he didn't get an invite, he went up to Miranda and asked, like, oh, can I have my invite? You know, you didn't give it to me yet, and I figured I would ask you for it personally. And she's like, you're not invited. He was, like, so sad about it. Like, he was trying to cover it up, but he was, like, obviously so crushed about it. And it kind of reminds me of my own life, because I was excluded from everything in school because we were being bullied, and I don't even know why, because I was the quiet kid and I never even spoke a word all day, but people would just make fun of me and do bad things to me. Also, it kind of reminds me, like, over the years, like, I used to invite kids from my school to, like, my birthday parties, and year after year, less and less people started to show up.
No, it's to the point that we don't even have birthday parties anymore.
Yeah, because
like, nobody shows up. Like, we don't have anyone to even invite by this point.
Yeah.
So I can relate.
Tudge.
I'm gonna just, I love saying I like Tudge. There's something so iconic about it, and I love it.
Yeah, and along with that, I also stopped being invited to things also, because everyone's like, oh my gosh, she sucks, she's so quiet, cringe.
No, but it was even more sad after he didn't get invited, because people, like, after he walks away, people literally proceed to push him around in the hallway. It was just really depressing and so sad to watch. It's like, you know, people are always just walking all over him. Literally and metaphorically.
It's just honestly depressing, like, what's going on with Miranda's character in this episode, because she even states this later in the episode. She was so far removed that, like, she wasn't even acting like a human being, or treating other people like human beings either. This episode just really ruined Miranda's character.
And the thing is, they try to redeem her at the end, but I don't believe it, and we'll get into that later.
It's where, like, the scene afterwards where Lizzie and Gordo are trying to, like, talk him into Lizzie's plan of, like, changing his look to get into the party. Larry Tudgeman changes for no one. I'm a man of mystery. I like to keep people guessing. He's an icon, a legend.
To millions, to billions. It's just so funny, honestly. It always makes me laugh. So then they have to do the makeover. They're, you know, trying to figure out, like, how they want to style him, and Gordo literally makes fun of his hair and says that it's so greasy and that he should start with washing it.
What's wrong with my hair? Washing would be a good start.
Gordo, stop it. I wish Gordo would disguise himself as someone who was helping.
That was so rude, and I'm glad that Lizzie shut that down.
That's the one time he wasn't an MVP.
And the montage of them changing his looks is just so weird. Very Disney Channel, I'll say, and it was funny.
Look out, ladies. Your mystery date has arrived.
They go to the party. The fact that nobody at the party recognized him at all.
Yeah, they're like, who's this hottie at the party?
Who's Mr. Hottie standing next to Gordo?
It's literally Larry in a different font. Like,
Yeah.
same person, different font. But not even different font. More like bolded. Like, you know, italicized.
Even Kate was interested. She was like, oh, who is that? Like, he's hot.
Yeah, like, everyone thought he was hot at this party.
Yeah.
Kate, Miranda. I mean, I think even Lizzie, to a certain extent, was like, I'm proud of what I did. He looks so good. Like,
Yeah.
Miranda is so attracted to him. She goes and talks to him, and they actually end up dancing together. But when he reveals himself, Miranda is so disgusted. She screams like Bloody Mary. She screams so loud on the dance floor. She's so mean when he reveals himself. And even Kate was nice to him after he revealed his identity. She was like, oh, you should keep that look. It looks good. Instead of being like, ew, it's Tudgeman and I was attracted to him.
It was just weird. Like, they're making Kate nicer than Miranda at this point.
And Miranda did eventually apologize and was like, you know, he shouldn't have had to disguise himself to be here. I should have just invited him and I should have acted like a human being and treated people like human beings. But the thing is like, if you watch the scene, it almost seemed like an afterthought. And honestly, Miranda likes to hold grudges. And I'm just saying, based on her character, I don't think she would have had that quick of a turnaround. They just need to fit this whole plot in like 20 minutes. So, Miranda, I hate you.
So those are all the episodes and the whole chronological timeline that we wanted to go over of all of the key moments of Larry Tudgeman's appearances on Lizzie McGuire and just his mistreatment and, you know, how just some parts of stuff they really just gave a disservice to his character.
Because Larry Tudgeman and Gordo are probably my favorite characters of Lizzie McGuire. You know, it's like one of those things where it's like they shouldn't be your favorite character, but they are. It's just like how I really like, I think Gloomer is my favorite character of Ned's Declassified, so.
Our final thoughts, the final verdict of it all.
Larry Tudgeman is better than what everyone thinks of him. We should defend Larry to the death because he's just better than them. The thing is, like, he treats everyone better than they did.
Yeah.
Like, he deserves justice. Hashtag justice for Tudge. I think a main takeaway is just, like, everyone should be treated with respect.
And that's why I feel like at times, like, in the show, they didn't treat the character with respect because even though they're trying to be like, oh, like, he's not a weirdo and he's a really nice person, then they would also try to exaggerate things and make him seem creepy when he wasn't.
Because they still gotta keep that caricature in the show, like, for comedic relief or whatever they're trying to do. Because, again, they keep almost resetting up the same plot line, like, ew, he's gross, I'm not doing this with him, or he's not invited to whatever. And even though it's like they learn their lesson, then they go back.
They always go back.
They go back because it's a different character. Again, it went from Lizzie to Miranda, so yeah. And that's really it.
Let us know what your thoughts on everything with Larry Tudgeman in the comments. Hashtag justice for Larry. Hashtag justice for the Tudge.
I thoroughly enjoyed these episodes. I think he really brings the show to another level. And it kind of just reminds me of what Lizzie McGuire is all about. Like,
Yeah.
the thing is, like, just those episodes they're just kind of crazy, honestly. And it was fun. Well, actually, it was actually kind of depressing, in all honesty.
It was hard to watch some of it because it's just so sad and it reminded me of my own life a little bit. A little bit
Yeah.
too close to home.
And actually, in one of the episodes, Tudgeman says, you know, my mom says that everyone bullies me because they're jealous of me. I think me and the Tudge are more alike than I thought. My mom said the same thing. Go watch these episodes if you haven't, you know, watched Lizzie McGuire in a while, or if you kind of forgot about Larry Tudgeman. Go back and fall in love with his character all over again because he's amazing. Top tier Lizzie McGuire character.
If you liked this video, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe and become an honest pal, and you will get honest powers by subscribing, and everyone will love you for it because you're just such a good person like Larry.
Comment down below, reply to the pinned comment. We'll have some questions for you. We have a gaming channel, link to that will be in the description. We played some Fall Guys last last time over there. We're planning on playing it again, but we want to play some Wii and Mario Kart, like, yes. So that should be fun, so head on over there.
God bless you. Jesus loves you. Have an amazing day, and we'll see you guys next time.
Bye! So, we hope you enjoyed the video.
Yeah. Honestly, he is a really accomplished, you know, chill dude, you know? He beat out Lizzie in the election for school president, and he's in the star flip command group, according to Lizzie McGuire herself.
No, but I don't understand. That is so irritating to me. Like, every time they kept saying flip instead of the Starfleet, like, I know it's cringe, like, the Starfleet command, but, like, also shut up, Lizzie and Miranda. It's not that hard. Where are you getting flip from? No, seriously, how does that make any sense? What would a star flip command be? Like, that sounds so stupid.
Yeah. Also, Bicon headcanon Gordo and Tudge enemies to lovers, haha. Not really, but, you know, I would support it.
Yeah.
Because of that one episode where they're like, I'm gonna beat you in the competition, and then he didn't, but, like, you know. Enemies to lovers!
I don't know, I feel like Tudge might be a little bit too straight, but, you know, it could happen.
You never know.
Alright.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.